Hey everybody, it's your boy Big L. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Let's jump into it here. So, not exactly sure what I'm going to name this title, but it's certainly going to be something along the lines of what mistakes I made. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Something like that. So whatever I decide to name it, you know what it is. Now, I'm not saying this to embarrass anybody along the path of my life. I'm going to try to keep other people out of this. But unfortunately, when you talk to people, when you talk about mistakes you made, it's in relation to other people, in relation to job, relation to things like that. So I made a list. Matter of fact, that job one, I got to add that up here. So it's going to be a few things. So let's jump into it. So the first mistake I made, and these are in no particular order. First mistake so it's just first on the list. There's no particular order, and it's certainly not in the order of importance. Well, a mistake I made was not taking enough time in between relationships. I had gotten divorced and started to get back on the dating market, trying to look and see what was on out there, right? Because you get used to being in a relationship, because you get used to sleeping next to somebody at night, you get used to somebody helping you out, things like that, and so that was a mistake of mine, because you're not totally healed and all that, and that's the journey that I'm on today. And I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying my time, my life. You know, I often refer to, when you're in your younger years, man, you got all this vim, vigor, vitality, this testosterone's through the roof. You are on a drug. You are on a drug, right? And so you act on that drug, and that drug will have you doing crazy things with crazy people at crazy times and all that kind of stuff. So so that's what that is. So I would have taken more time, and that's the time I'm taking today, because after I had gotten divorced, I had sought out. I had gone on some dating apps and gone on some dates and met really, I know that the dating scene is a mess, but I really met some nice people, maybe 4 or 5 really, really nice people that I met them under different circumstances, where my mentality was as far as taking my time. I probably would be with them today, because they were really just nice people. And I feel bad about it, because I feel as if I wasted their time. So that's one thing. You really should take your time. And I'm making this so you can kind of discern whether you need to take time for yourself, and so you can analyze and ask yourself the mistakes you made. Now, let me also say this, that these are ideas that I have, that just to help you to be a better person, to take stock of yourself, to analyze yourself, so you don't make the same type of mistakes, or that you really can look at your life and say, man, what kind of mistakes am I making? And these aren't mistakes about, going left and right. I really should have went left and went right, or I really should have, you could say to yourself, man, I really should have gone back to school, taken school more seriously. But you are what you are. You are what you are, and you think what you think. You process information the way you process it, and it's a slow life's journey, and all life long you're learning something. I got that from my grandmother. All life long you're learning something. So you really shouldn't beat yourself up over going left and going right, or I shouldn't have went to the prom with this person, or things like that. You can't beat yourself up, because that's the place that you are in your life. But you have to. So when I'm talking about mistakes, I'm talking about, man, you had this gut feeling at the time, man, I really should do this. I really should do this. And you don't do it. Those are the type of mistakes I'm making. I'm not talking about, you bought a Toyota, you really wanted a Nissan or whatever. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about, man, you have a gut feeling that this is the right way to go, and you don't listen to your gut. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about mistakes. So the first one is not taking enough time in between relationships. Really, and I'm trying to make this generic and try to lead people out of this, so you don't really know what or who I'm talking about. but I really should have taken more time in between relationships. And I talked about you don't want to, because there's that feeling of loneliness and being on the drug and all that. And here's a little bit of vulnerability, but I ended up developing a porn habit, because, you know, when you're in a relationship, you're not getting it, and then you end up you know, trying to self-medicate. Some people self-medicate with drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, weed, whatever, and other people medicate through you know, other means, and I chose that. And that really is a bad habit, because it will have you constantly comparing yourself to other people, how long you should last, how long you should be, right? All this, particularly for black men, right? That's a real big, you know, right? So it's this thing, man. It's a thing. So if you are stuck on that, right? If you know, I watch a lot of videos, so I'm not exactly sure if there's a clinical, and I'm not going to go into all this clinical definition of it, but I would say if you're watching it every day, you watch it before you go to sleep, and you can't get your sleep without it. You're developing feelings of anxiety if you don't do it. Your body starts to go into some type of withdrawal symptoms. You may have a problem that you need to deal with. And so getting out, that's why I go out for walks, getting out in nature, really readjusting my mind and trying to get endorphins and dopamines and all that kind of stuff through a different methods is essential. Working out, exercise, foods, good healthy foods. So check that. If you got a problem with that, be honest with yourself and do something about it, because your interactions with real people, there's tons of videos, YouTube videos about this, tons of them, about getting off of it. There's help programs and all that kind of stuff. So really should, if you have that problem, deal with that. Let's see. I would have invested in real estate. And I say this because, you don't really know what you don't know. I mean, I know investments are really difficult and all that kind of stuff. But there was a couple of opportunities for me to invest in real estate, and I didn't, or different types of real estate, and I didn't because of the people that I was with didn't want to do it. And of course, if you're in a marriage or committed relationship, you got to be with somebody who's going to support you in your dreams and hopes. And you gotta be supportive of that. You gotta do that. You gotta have somebody who's going to support you. And so, but I really wish I would have done that. Now, you don't have to do what I did as far as investing in real estate, but take your investments in your future seriously. And I just wish that I would have done it. Now, I have some friends who want to start doing it now, and they want to look into it. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it at this age. I'm 51. I mean, because to me, in order to make money, you have to do it yourself, right? You have to do the work yourself. You're going to get into flipping houses and stuff, and that's really kind of what I'm talking about. Flipping houses, not only flipping houses, but fixing them up and just renting them out. All right, if you're going to make any money, you got to do it yourself. I'm not gonna at this age, I'm not gonna buy a house and then I got to pay a carpenter or a plumber to come in here and fix everything, change everything up. I'll be in the red. I'm not doing all that. So, and I'm also not going to be in there ripping up vinyl and rugs, and trying to do stuff. And you're going to do it right. You're going to hang your own sheetrock and do other stuff. So, but I wish I would have done that in my late 20s, early 30s. I really would have done that, and I'm advising my son to do that now. I definitely think they should do that. I know the housing market is difficult, and I would even probably help to try to give them some money to help do that. Of course, I want a return on my investment too, but that is something that I really wish that I would have done, is invested in real estate. along the line, I would have invested more. Now I did pretty good, but I had kids, family responsibilities, so I had a pension that was coming, and I also had a kind of a deferred compensation or a 401k. We had a deferred comp, so I would have invested more into that. I would have maxed it out, but I couldn't afford to, or I didn't think I could afford to. But you do what you do, and I did pretty good. When the market was good, it tanked in 2000 and 2008. People often talk about 2008, but it tanked in 2000 as well, and I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. But you can always recover that, and I'm on the road to recovery right now. In fact, I watched a couple who had retired to Portugal or to Costa Rica. I watched two different black couples. It might have been even been the same couple. It's hard for me to remember. I watched a couple months ago. But they had retired, and they had retired to either Portugal or Costa Rica, and they had done it, and they didn't start till they were 50 years old. They had fairly good jobs, but they talked about they didn't start really taking it seriously till they were 50, and now they're in their early 70s, and now they're like, they retired and they're living in Portugal or Costa Rica. So even in my retirement now, like I teach online, and I still, whatever I can put into, when they give me a check, right, I still invest into a 401k, right, thinking about your future and all that. So I do that. So I would have taken that a little bit more seriously. I wrote stock in my guns. I don't know what that means. Stuck to my guns. So when I retired, I would have stuck to my guns. Here's what I mean by that. When I retired, from law enforcement, right? So I was teaching online, and I started my own consulting business, which I still have and still doing work on, doing expert testimony business, work, obviously branched out into life coaching, things like that. So I would have stuck to that. Now, I took a job. I talk about this job often. It was at a university. And they talked me into it. It was good money, good benefit. I mean, I didn't need the benefits, but benefits. But I didn't stick to what I wanted to do, and that was a big mistake. So I'm saying to you, stick to what you want to do. If you want to achieve a goal in life, stick to that goal. Stick to that goal. Because even though I didn't give up my consulting business and all that on the side, it took away from that time. And so eventually I stuck there for 4 months. I stayed there for 4 months, and it was a great job, great people. If I was a 30-year-old guy, I definitely would have stayed there. But once my consulting business, I got a few more clients, consulting business, I'm like, oh man, I really would I end up leaving the job because I'm like, listen, I want to do what I want to do. So I'm saying to stick to your guns. You know what's right for you. I had done 20 plus years in the police department, had a pension, not starving for money or anything. And I had always heard about starting legacy, building legacy. And that's why I talk about the real estate thing. Legacy is important, and having something to pass down to your kids, and generational wealth and all that kind of stuff. I heard those conversations, watched those types of videos, listened to those podcasts, read those types of books, and I said I wanted to do it. And then when this opportunity comes along, I get back into the corporate sphere. And I remember the first day I walked in there, and you always feel this feeling, right? And so I walked in, and they're like, here's your cubicle. Now, I'm a free guy, right? It's the same way I'm living today. I'm a free person. I'm a free guy, and here's my little cubicle. Now, imagine how that is, right? I had not had to check in with anybody for years. I retired in 2019. For 4 years, I had, with the pandemic and all that, I had not had to check in with anybody. Didn't ask anybody if I could take a vacation. All this type of stuff. So they're going to tell me that I need to check in this cubicle and be here at a certain time and all that. So it was a very uncomfortable feeling. So stick to your guns. I'm saying this to say, not just specifically about this, but anything. Stick to your guns, right? Don't make these type of mistakes. If you have a goal, you have something you want to achieve, a business you want to build, you want to go back to college, or weight you want to do, don't get off your weight you want to achieve. Don't get off your diet because your friends want to do this and that and the other. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. I would have had one more kid. I had, two of my own biological, a couple of stepkids, but I definitely would have. I think about that. I would have had another kid, and I can't do it today. I don't want to do it today. But I know people in their 50s who have kids and stuff. I don't know. I couldn't imagine myself. If I met a really, really nice girl who's like 35, 36, and she didn't have any kids, and I would give her one, but I don't want one. And she didn't have any. She has to, not just because, she got a kid of her own, but she wants to have another one. I'm not doing that. You got a kid, because they're expensive, right? I would have done better with my health. I would have done better with my health. Now, I was always the type of person to work out, but you do it for, 3-4 months, then you stop. You got to be consistent. You really should. I mean, I would not recommend taking more than a month off from walking, biking. If you're a runner, lifting weights, whatever it is you're doing, do it to the fullest and the maximum, and just do it slow and steady, consistent. A lot of times people jump in and they get intense, going 5 days a week, and they're getting up at 3 a.m. and listen, a simple walk every day, 30 minutes. That's all they recommend. 30 minutes. Anything else is great. It's superfluous. I always have a problem saying that word, but superfluous. Anything else is extra, right? So I go for a walk. It's usually, now I'm up to like almost an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, depending on how far I go. Every day, and I want to increase that to do it twice a day. Actually, now the summer's out, daylight's longer and all that. I want to do that twice a day. Or I told you my routine about lifting weights as well. So I don't think I can walk twice today. But anyway, I have something going on later on. So I would have done better with that, and I lay off of the. When I say health, it's obviously exercise and diet, right? I do the whole food plant-based diet. Stay away from fried foods, no more fries and all that, and all that. So I try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I need to eat a lot more. I'm going to cut back on the carbs, cut back on the processed fake meats, beyond meats and all that kind of stuff. Not that you can't eat them at all, but eat them very sparingly, once or twice a month. So those are some of the mistakes that I made. Took more time in between. Cut out the funny movies. Invested in real estate. Invested more in my finances. Stuck to my guns. I would have had to done another kid and done better with my health. I don't think that there's anything else that I really could or want to add to that. As far as mistakes, like, man, I'm saying, I know that I want to do things, right? This isn't about, man, I should have bought that new car. I should have, tried harder with this girl, or all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, I do regret not fighting harder for my marriage, and I do regret that. So, but these are just, this lady's he's in the parking lot. He's gonna get in a one-car accident. She must be in a hurry to get home. So those are just some of the mistakes that I made along the way. You're always going to have mistakes as far as listening to people, always going to have mistakes as far as, all that kind of stuff. But so you can list your mistakes if you in the comment section, things that you really wish that you had that gut feeling about, that you knew. It could have been staying away from somebody. It could have been, obviously, not taking that drug that time that got you. Not drinking and driving. I'm not talking, we're all young and dumb and make those kind of mistakes, but things that that really could have been life-changing and turned your life into a completely different direction. So that's it. Much love and peace, everyone. Hit that like button. Hit the like button.